Okay. So we are going to go ahead. I'll give you a very small brief idea, few things that was not discussed. 2012 to 2016, I joined the Sikkim Manipal Institute of Technology, Mechanical Engineering. But some people do not know that before that, till 2012, I was a very average student. Obviously, I scored a CGPA of 9.57 in college. So that is something that you can look forward to as well. Being in a college which is not IIT or an IT or well renowned throughout the country, obviously your senior secondary was not that great. So my percentage of 12th standard was 65 percentage in physics, chemistry, maths, and overall 75 percentage overall. My mathematics marks was 53, physics it was 61, and chemistry it was 82 or 83 something. That is how I got 65 percentage in that. So after that, I decided that from now on, I should put my full attention towards my education, because after all, you need a career. And then I started with my first semester. I worked very hard. My CGPA was 9.42. Second semester increased a little bit and it became 9.78. And even though working throughout the day, throughout night, I saw people who took it in a very relaxed manner, getting like CGPA of 10 all of a sudden. So if you are starting from a scratch, it will take time. In third semester, it got into 9.89, and then it kind of stabilized. And overall, ultimately, I reached a position of 3 in my department. If you looked at it in third semester, I was not even in top 5, but then I gradually climbed my way up. And somewhere around 6th semester or so, I realized that this college might not give me a placement in core sector. So obviously there were placements. I sat for 5 different campus placements, got rejected in all of them, which is a tragedy. TCS an incident happened in my year. You guys, I do not know if you know about it or not. Then Wipro, Capgemini, Dell, Wells Fargo, these were all that I did not get selected in, even with a high CGPA. Matter of fact, at that point, high CGPA was a problem. That if you have this high CGPA, why do you want to join a company with 3 lakh package? So very lot of cross questioning happened, and I'm not saying that it was only because of CGPA. Because Sushant also had a CGPA very close to me. Sushant, who ended up getting rank of 4. My CGPA was 9.57, his CGPA was 9.5. But he got selected in Capgemini because maybe he played it smartly. Sushant, if you do not know, ended up getting All India rank 16 in engineering services 2017. He did not join the job that he got. All right. So in my final year, the 7th semester, when I was in 7th semester, right after that in February 2016, I gave GATE 2016, and that was my first attempt. And sir over here knows, and a lot of students at that time who were my classmates knew that I was very serious for GATE examination. I was not taking it casually. I did the best that I could have done with the resources that I had. Sir like Mehto sir, at that time Dhruv sir was there, right now also Dhruv sir is there. At that time Dheeraj sir was there, a few other people, Som sir was there. These people combined and formed a group to just guide us few students who were really talented. Our batch of mechanical engineering was really good, and even if you look at them now, like where they are, top 10 mechanical engineers of our batch, where they are right now, all are in great positions. So sir realized that we need some guidance when it comes to national level examinations, and they even took like after our classes, like 6 o'clock classes, and took our questions from the side. Like every now and then I used to take the, like, I cannot solve this question, and even if they could not find the solution, they tried to find the solution for days until they came up with it and helped us out. So teachers are very supportive. That is one thing that you can rely on. I still remember Mehto sir's class. He took almost every semester some class or the other. I think he started with thermodynamics, then applied thermodynamics, then I think maybe RAC. But he knew that in the last bench I would be sitting and few other boys. I remember Anand was another boy. We would be sitting in the last bench and solving GATE previous year questions, and he wouldn't mind, because he knew that when it comes to examination, we are going to do our job. So that is how it went. And finally, after the 7th semester ended, I went back home. February 2016, I gave my examination. Expectations were high. At that time, my aim was to get into IIT Bombay. I wanted to do my master's in design, and I just wanted to carry my whole future in the research domain. Honestly speaking, I was not aware that ISRO conducts its own examination, which actually intakes graduates like BTech people. I was thinking that ISRO takes like PhDs also. So I was thinking that maybe I'm going to do MTech and then I'm going to do PhD. Might sound silly to some of you guys, but at that time the level of information online or on the internet was just not available. We did not had former BARC scientists, former ISRO scientists, former IOCL officers, former engineering services officers, or current engineering services officer talking to the crowd openly. It was not possible back then. There were like handful of 3-4 coaching institutes, and they had their own agenda. They fed us with the information that was beneficial for them, and for them GATE was everything, because GATE brought the majority chunk of population to them, and that was how they were selling courses and test series, and that is what we were aware of. So I just thought that, okay, I'm going to give GATE examination, I'm going to get into IIT Bombay, I'm going to do my master's in design, and then I'm going to pursue my career like that. But when my results came, I got marks of 50 and the rank of 9008, which, if you do not know, does not give you anything in mechanical engineering. I remember I applied for CCMT and got NIT Jamshedpur in second round or so. That too not a great branch, some production, industrial, something like that. I was not interested in that. So I just let it go and went to Delhi for 1 year and then prepared over there properly. The last one was also properly. This was one notch higher. I added extra amount of effort because that is what I was doing all day. No semester examinations anymore, no internships anymore, no learning the softwares like CATIA, ANSYS anymore. I was just putting in time towards my preparation. That was the only target. Target remains the same, that okay, I'm going to get into IIT Bombay. But then as I proceeded further, somewhere around November or December, I started to realize that there are other examinations as well. Like there's an examination of ISRO independently. This is a funny story actually. Right after GATE examination, I even filled a form of ISRO and later found out that it was form for some other vacancy. Like it was not for graduates and it was not for mechanical engineering, but I filled some form that was available in the website of Space Application Center. That was how low the information was. The actual examination of ISRO is ISRO Central Recruitment Board, ICRB. That is a national level examination and it mainly takes place for mechanical engineering, electronics and communication engineering, and computer science engineering. But at that time I was not aware. But right by the time I gave GATE 2017, since I was in Delhi, there were a lot of students around me, I found out about this examination. So ISRO 2017, the examination was supposed to be in May. Right out of GATE, after GATE examination, I found out that BARC actually independently takes its own examination as well. BARC does take through GATE examination. Like if you score very well in GATE, you will get into the BARC interview. But BARC does take its own online written test as well, which pattern is very similar to GATE examination. So I filled that form as well. BARC examination was in March and this ISRO examination was in May. Meanwhile, before that, my GATE 2017 result came out, and even that did not help me that much. So if you thought that I gave GATE examination and got into BARC and ISRO, it is not true. GATE actually gave me only one thing, the one thing that I was running for so long, that was IIT Bombay, the design field. But I ultimately ended up not joining that as well, because by then I was selected in Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So information is very important. If you look at my whole journey, you'll find out that I thought that I wanted something, but ended up running for that and then found out that there's other ways as well. So it is important for you to understand what you're running for, understand the examination, understand what GATE examination gives. So if you are interested in a research career, then you're running blindly for GATE to get a rank and then get into PSU. It is not going to give you the job satisfaction that you're looking for. So GATE 2017, long story short, I got marks 70 and my rank was 1825, which is also not going to give you anything. I got 0 calls from PSU, 0 calls from MTechs, from any of the IITs. If I had filled CCMT and all, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten top NITs. I did fill, but I did not go past first round. And ultimately my main focus was after that I'm going to crack BARC written test and I'm going to crack ISRO written test. ISRO written test was the main objective at that time, because obviously Indian Space Research Organization is kind of the goal for everyone who is a mechanical engineer and wants to develop a career in core field. There's no technology more cutting edge than space science and technology, and it was pretty obvious and clear to me. But then ISRO examination is a beast in itself. It is very difficult because it is a very fast twitch kind of examination. You need to make very less mistakes and you need to solve extremely fast. So if you do not know the pattern of ISRO examination, it gives you 90 minutes to solve 80 questions. And these 80 questions were high level conceptual questions. Some were easy and short, but a lot of them were high level, and a lot of times people used to run out of time while solving it. So I gave this ISRO examination and I did not qualify. Meanwhile, I did qualify BARC written test and subsequently the interview. I joined BARC and then I continued my ISRO. In December 2017, there was another ICRB ISRO written test. I appeared in that as well and I failed in that as well. And then finally in April 2018, there was a third ISRO examination that I appeared in which I cracked the written test and subsequently the interview, in which I got the All India rank of 4. So if you look at it, oh, Ashish Ranjan, 9.57 CGPA, and then he worked in BARC, and then he worked in ISRO, and then he left ISRO, and now he is a podcaster. It does not really work like that. The journey is very long, and you need to pay attention towards the reality. Because these days, see, earlier there was a lack of information online. Now it is an abundance of information, which sometimes becomes harmful, because you can see there are like at least 10 to 15 different coaching institutes right now on YouTube running their own YouTube channels with their own educators taking live sessions and telling you to join their subscription, right? So in that, the real information will always be tarnished. The real idea of what GATE is right now, the reality is that a lot of PSUs have been revoked from GATE. A lot of PSUs are conducting their own examination and a lot of PSUs are privatized. There are few PSUs, 4 to 5, which are still through GATE examination. There are a lot of PSUs which are conducting their own examination like CIL, in which GATE preparation will help you. So it's almost the same thing, but it's a second chance if your GATE examination did not go that well. But mainly what GATE is right now for is masters and MTech from IITs. And thankfully the MTech fees hike has not happened yet. And nowadays another option has opened and become very viable, that is PhD through GATE examination direct PhD without any MTech. That is also possible. So that is 100% certain. Rest is not that certain. If you look at it, ONGC recruitment of 2021 is pending, 2022 is pending, and 2020 is pending. All of these three is going to happen in 2022. So obviously they are not going to bring 3 times the seat. They are not going to bring 300 seats. People are going to compromise over there, right? So what do I do if I want to build a career in core and I'm a mechanical engineer? Number one, you can go for MS abroad, but you need a lot of money. Even if you want to go for Germany where the tuition fees is waived off, you need at least 20 lakh rupees to go over there. Anant, who is also my batchmate, went to Italy and he did his master's in automobile engineering from Politecnico di Milano. He also invested somewhere close to 20 lakh to 30 lakh rupees. Right now he's working in Lamborghini. He's permanent employee over there. Initially he joined as a contract employee and then he is permanent now. A lot of other of my batchmates also went for abroad universities. Some went into US as well. But the main point remains that there needs to be an investment made over there. Number one, huge amount of investment, and number two, you are not going to be earning for those 2 years. And number three problem is that what if something like COVID happens? Another example is Testa. He's not from mechanical engineering. He's from civil engineering and he's also my batchmate, same 2016 pass out. He also went to Italy. He did his master's in design. His whole course again costed somewhere around 20 to 30 lakh rupees. But right when he was going to pass out, he was going to complete his MTech, he got hit with COVID. Everyone did. 2020 February, that's when he returned back to India. So anything can happen when you take loan and go in that scenario. So you should be financially very strong, so strong that even if you do not get anything out of it, your parents are not going to be thrown to roads. Understood? So that is the whole scenario with abroad. Now, what if I don't have the money and I want to build a career in core field in India, and I am from a private college where I do not get companies like Rolls-Royce and Caterpillar and GE coming to my college for campus recruitments, taking up all the toppers and good students over there? What do I do in that case? Well, that was exactly my scenario. I did not have the money to go abroad, and also I wanted to build a career in core. I could have gone to IT companies as well, worked over there as well. And trust me, I would have if I had to, or if I had gotten a chance to support my GATE preparation. But ultimately, I would have gone for these BARC and ISRO itself, because these were like the big core companies. So when it comes to India, which is still a growing country, majority of the big industries will be in government sector only. That is what we are seeing. As India grows, a lot of these are getting privatized, but a lot of them, like chunk of it, like BARC, ISRO, DRDO, Indian Railways, ONGC, IOCL, BHEL, these will be on major basis in the hands of the government. So for that, you will have to go for government examination. But see, there are a lot of benefits of government examination as well. I know a lot of you guys will be saying there are a lot of benefits of private examinations, private jobs. You can switch whenever you want to, and it is easier to get, and it is like a good amount of reward. If you put good amount of investment, you are going to get good amount of reward. Whereas in competitive examination of government domain, if you crack it, you are going to make it. You are all of a sudden a 12 lakh package, government employee, gazetted officer. Or if you do not, then a lot of people are like struggling for 3 to 4 years. And what is the benefit? I'm not talking about the benefit of job security and stable life and good work-life balance and also good pension. Those are the things which are very vague. Okay, those are not the real benefits out of it. The real benefit of government job is that it is very fair. I'm talking about the national level examination. कोई मतलब पीछे से कोई धांधली नहीं हो रहा है इन सब एग्जाम्स में. Proper written test है. If you qualify, if you cross the cutoff, you're going to be called for the interview. If you make it in the interview, even in interview, they are not like, okay, उसका फलाने का बेटा है तो उसे ले लेते हैं. It is like there will be 10 interviews over there. Everyone will be having 1/10 of the marks. They are going to score independently, and combined they are going to give a combined marks for this particular candidate. And if that person is in the top list till the number of candidates we want to hire this year, they are going to take you. So there is no discrimination over there. In BARC and ISRO, there's no reservation as well. No reservation for ST, SC, nothing. ISRO earlier used to have a handicap reservation, and now from the past few years, I'm not seeing that as well. All right. So it is extremely fair. That is what I liked about it. And if I could not make it, I could only blame myself that I did not do sufficiently for these examinations. So now you understand who is this examination for. If you want to do masters, you want to develop a career in core, then it is for you. You just want a job, it is not for you. There are better ways of getting a job. If you're just looking for कोई भी job मिल जाए, पहले self dependent हो जाऊँ, 30,000 हो, 40,000 हो, job मिल जाए, you do a lot of these software courses and get into IT. If you are not interested in core field, this is not the path for you, because people who are in this field bloody love this mechanical engineering. I've seen a lot of gold medalists, silver medalists just hanging around. When I got to Delhi, everyone around me were some college topper or the other. Actually, my batch, called the super talented batch, had its one criteria, that everyone with a CGPA of 8 and above will only join this batch. So almost everyone was talented over there. And that, I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about thousands. Every batch had 400 people, and there were 5 such batches. All across the world at that time, 40,000 people were a part of as a student of Made Easy. So that is how tough the competition is. And right now it is just distributed amongst different other coaching institutes. Like it would be every coaching institute will be having 4,000 or 5,000 students. And like that, it is somewhere close to 50,000 people who do decide that I am going to prepare for this competitive examination. You might see the numbers of people who are filling the examination in lakhs, but these are the number of people who are actually serious. And then these are the people who are serious at the beginning. At the end, if you do not know, my year, the statistics were somewhere around 16, 17 boys and few girls started to prepare for GATE examination. Sir must remember. And ultimately, how many actually appeared for this examination? Only 4. I can name them. I was the one who got a rank of 9008. Anshuman got a rank of 5000. Sushant got a rank of 4000. There was another girl who is right now in Indian Navy, Shivangi, who got a rank of 7000. I was actually at the bottom of all the people who qualified. But that's only all the people who did appear. Nobody else even appeared in this examination. So a lot of people start, and along the way they will give up. A lot of people gave up at this point as well, because I know there are 6 semester people. A lot of them would have started in 3rd semester, but they eventually gave up. A lot of you guys are going to give up. I'm saying that with 100% certainty. At least the number I'm seeing right now is close to 30 or so. At least 20 of you guys are going to quit. Very few are going to ultimately appear. And those 10 of you guys who are going to appear, you are going to make it through. Because it is more important about facing those fears. Most people who are going to quit along the way, see, if you do not want to appear, it's fine. In that case, do not start preparing. But if you did start preparing and you did quit somewhere in the middle, you develop kind of a habit of quitting at everything you start to do. Okay, and those people who did not appear for GATE examination are doing pretty fine as well. A good example is, like I said, Anand, who used to sit with me in the last benches solving for GATE examination previous year questions. He did not sit for GATE 2016, did not sit for 17 as well. He joined an IT company, Capgemini. Right now, he is also in an IT company in Hyderabad. He's doing full-on coding. I actually talked with him a couple of weeks ago. He's married now. So he is full-on 100% coder, like kind of job a computer science engineer would do, and he's enjoying it. He's making good money as well. He's having a stable career. So it's not like you are not going to have a good life, but then again, it is kind of a waste of time if you started preparing and then left somewhere in the middle. Okay, now I have few other things to talk about, like how can you start preparing for GATE examination. But meanwhile, if I'm having some question related to whatever I've discussed so far, that would be good. I can discuss them right now. Sorry.
I wanted to ask, why did you quit ISRO?
I left ISRO because I saw my curve of growth dropping. So in any organization, you are going to see an exponential curve in the beginning, and then you are going to find a stalemate. It was that kind of experience. I've left ISRO. If you do not know, there's an training in ISRO called ISRO Induction Training Program, IITP. I was batch of 32nd IITP program. That took place somewhere in November, and it ended up in December. It ended up properly on 12th December. I had put my resignation on 14th of December. So understood that after this whole training program, it is more of just putting whatever I've learned and less of learning. So my learning process was over, and that is when I decided that it is time to quit now. I had plans of doing my higher studies, but right after that, COVID happened, and which is fine because I found out other things to do. And right now also I'm looking forward to do other things in the technical field and keep on growing in space science and engineering domain. Got it? It's a complicated question with a complicated answer. This is the simplest way I can explain. All right. So if you are going to start preparing for GATE examination, things have changed a lot. Back then, what you used to do is get Xerox copies of all the top coaching institutes and buy it in somewhere close to 1200, 1300 rupees, get it posted to us. Sorry? Anyone? All right. If there's someone who is speaking, go to mute because maybe someone else's voice is getting in. Okay. So back then what we used to do is like get Xerox copies and then read it out. Time has changed. You do not need to do that anymore. And even if you did it, you are not going to be in the level with the competition, because nowadays almost everything is free. I myself has taught 7 different mechanical engineering subjects 100% for free. And if you combine of work of all the other people who have done in this field in the past 3-4 years, then it is close to 100% of the mechanical engineering syllabus taught for free by people who have cracked this examination before. So you need to find those lectures and go through it properly, step by step. The first step would be first chapter. Give a particular subject somewhere close to 1 month, and 1 month it should be done properly. You go through the lecture, let us say 1 hour lecture. Then during the lecture you make some class notes, and after the lecture you revise those class notes in a short manner. Make micro notes out of it. Whatever formula which is there, which you have to memorize, put it in some micro notes. Micro notes will be like 12 to 20 pages, in which all of your formulas will be across all the subjects. All right. Okay. Now then you immediately solve previous year questions. Gate previous year questions. Until unless you solve it, you are never going to find out what is the pattern of this examination, or what is this examination expecting. Okay. And then you just repeat the process next day, next lecture, next chapter, and then it keeps on going. And in a month your one complete subject is over, along with preparation of its micronotes and all the previous year question done. A lot of people do like, I'll go through the lecture, solve the previous year questions later. Later never comes, and they are left with a lot of backlogs. All right. Speaking of backlogs, if any one of you guys have any backlogs in your college, that is your first priority. All right, because if your degree gets delayed, that will be an issue later. And speaking of degree, whatever CGPA you are getting, make sure that it is at least above 7. Now I know that in our college getting CGPA is easy, but I also know that some of my friends did not do it even that much. But why I'm saying that is because you will be debarred from a lot of jobs just because you do not have a sufficient CGPA. The highest CGPA requirement or percentage requirement is by ISRO, and that is 68 percentage, and our CGPA directly converts into percentage with multiplied by 10. So you are looking at 6.8 CGPA. Just to be safe, have it above 7. All right. Now, apart from that, where was I? Yeah, so you complete subject by subject like this. And then very importantly, the place where most people are hurt is the revision. You have to plan your revision properly. So let us say first subject is over, second subject is going on, and then the third subject is now going on, and then after that fourth subject started, and then by then the first subject is completely lost. So somewhere at least close to the third subject going on, you have to simultaneously revise the first subject as well. It does not take a lot of time. It will take somewhere around like 1 to 2 days, or 1 week if you're giving like 2 hours every day. I understand that your college semester examinations must be also going on. Assignments must be going on. See, I'm saying it openly. Even though I'm saying it in front of my own teachers, I used to copy all my assignments to save time. I used to copy all the lab work just to save time. This is what you have to do if you are preparing for gate examination simultaneously. Yeah? Someone? Is there a voice who wants to interrupt me? If not, then I'm going to continue. So save time in these things. I always used to study just 2 days before my semester examinations, and that's as much as time I would give to the semester examination. That is why somewhere close to 6-7 semester you will see my CGPA dropping. My 7th semester CGPA was 9.2, 8th semester CGPA was 9. That is the lowest that I had in all my 8 semesters. And that too, I was very reliant on my friends who were making notes very cautiously. As I've said before in the class also, I was not paying attention in most of the classes, so notes also I used to gather. So that is a good way to score marks. And just see, the truth is, and this is really the truth, the marks in your semester examination does not define your competence at all, and this is coming from the bronze medalist. All right, it has nothing to do, and this is what I realized when I got to Delhi, and my brain was finally opened up to understand that my level of understanding of concepts is nothing where it should be when you really compare it with people who are coming from all over the country and their level of understanding, or people who have been preparing properly in a good strategy or a good structure for gate examination. Okay, so CGPA is important, that I'll say, because at the end of the day, all these campus recruitment and all your higher studies, they're going to take care of your CGPA. Higher the better. Even ISRO interviewed, they paid attention towards my CGPA because it looked good. But ultimately, never never combine these two things, your CGPA and your knowledge or understanding. This does not work. In no college it works, not even in IIT it works like that. Okay, so it is important, do the best to get the best CGPA, but do not invest a lot of time. Like some people start preparing for semester examination months in advance. That is not how it works. You get a decent CGPA of 8 and that will do more than sufficient. Sometimes I even regret getting a higher CGPA, somewhere around 9 CGPA or so, because for the first 4 or 6 semester I did not understand that CGPA is not going to help me. My idea at that time was that for the first 4 semester that having a very high CGPA will assure me to get a job. As I've said before, it did not, because I sat for 5 jobs and did not get selected in any of them. Okay. A very important skill that if you're looking for campus recruitment, you should definitely start working on is your speaking skills. That is something that I also started working on somewhere close to 4th or 5th semester, because I knew that there will be interviews, there will be GDs. So you should be very good at that. So they don't really look that much on your CGPA, but they look at your personality and your smartness a lot, because ultimately they know that all the things that you're going to do as an employee for them are going to be the ones that are taught by them in the first few months of training. Like I said, Anand is now 100% a coder and he's a mechanical engineer by degree. Okay. All right. Now got deviated way too much, coming back to the point. So like that, revision is very important. You keep on maintaining track. What I follow is 1 day, 1 week and 1 month revision. So 1 day revision is that itself. You go through the class, make the class notes, and after the class also you are going to revise the same thing in a quick manner. And after that, 1 week is that the day that your particular subject is over. Let us say 30th of April, a particular subject is over. On 30th of March, 30th of May, mark it on the calendar that you are going to revise that subject again in a speedy fashion, like quickly, 2 to 3 days, done. And then you can just continue the cycle. The next time maybe you can give some subject-wise test series to just test yourself how well you are doing it. But you'll have to plan it, like mark it in the calendar. It is important that you do not do the revision too soon. Like after 4 days of completing a subject, you are doing the revision, because meanwhile you have not forgotten anything about the subject. It's all fresh. So you will never understand what you are going to forget. So forgetting is a very important part of memory. You need to understand what you're going to forget to understand what you are going to pay attention towards. All right. Now that is how you need to plan the whole revision thing. And the third leg of the tripod is that you need to start giving test series somewhere around November or December. Subject-wise test series can start as soon as September or October, but by December, definitely you should start giving your full-length test series. If not possible by December, definitely start giving it by January. And without giving full-length test series, do not expect yourself to be performing anything, because you will not be aware of the pattern. I still remember 2016 was the first year where the virtual calculator was added to the whole system, and a lot of people got beat because of that, because they did not have the experience. A couple of years ago, first time they added this whole jumbled question. Now aptitude and mathematics and technical will not be separate now. It will be just jumbled up. So you should be aware of these things and practice this thing so that you don't get the shock over there on the day of the examination. Okay. All right. Anything else that you want me to discuss over here? Because most of the things that I wanted to discuss is covered. Yes, sir. You want me to discuss something?
We talk about speaking skills, right? So how do I develop it?
Okay.
Like, what should I do?
Yeah. So see, this is something that I started to do somewhere around, like I said, 4th semester, is that I started to speak in front of the mirror. Now you guys are living in the same hostels that I'm living. There's a mirror right beside the bathroom entry, right? And below that there would be a sink. And that's where I used to stand and speak for somewhere close to 20 to 30 minutes at least about anything, like even the things that I've studied. Let us say I studied gears in theory of machine, and I'm just going to explain. Now this is going to do two things for me simultaneously. Number one is increase my explanation skill, make sure that I know the things that I've just studied, and with the explanation skill, what it is increasing is your speaking skill, right? So sometimes you can discuss the technical things that you studied, sometimes you can just discuss whatever you want to discuss, but yeah, you will have to find out time where your roommate is not there, and maybe you can even have an understanding with your roommate. My roommate had an understanding, so whenever he used to go to play football, I used to speak. That's how it went. And I just stayed consistent with it, that continuously I'm going to do it. And I have been taking a course on increasing or enhancing your communication skill for the past year and a half now, and I have dealt with 12 different batches, and that in total comprises of 100 different students. Now I'm saying this because I know the problem amongst people, and the problem is consistency. So they mostly do it for 1, 2, 3 days, and then they somewhere along the way leave it. But the reality is that I did it 100% for the past 10 years or so, close to 8 or 9 years. And during my college also, once I started in my 4th semester, somewhere in second year, I never stopped it until my whole college campus placement. I just increased the frequency. To some of you guys, it might be boring, but I can't really do anything for you. You just have to find out interesting things to talk about. To some of you guys, you might think that I'm going to just talk to my friends in English. Please go ahead, try to do it. It won't last more than a week. We all know about that. Some of you guys think that I'm just going to read out things like newspaper and books out loud. See, the only problem is that over there, the content is not created by you. And in a real interview scenario or a group discussion, you have to create the content. And in that case, you're going to stay mum, and you're not going to speak anything. It's not going to help you at all. Okay. So the main idea is you need to speak in front of mirror for at least 20 minutes every day, which is really not a lot of time. And preferably you can record whatever you have spoken so that you can listen to it and then find out the things that you need to work upon, because a lot of us have this these connectors when we speak, right? So these are not very pleasant to listen to, and this also kind of irritates your audience, and your audience during the interviews is nothing but your interviewers, so you have to please them as well. So lesser these connectors, the better off it is. But you will have to have this feedback mechanism where you monitor how well you are speaking or where you need to work upon. Is that clear? It would be great if you just say that I'm this, and I have asked this question so that I can address you. But if you want to stay anonymous, that is fine as well. Any other question?
Approach in group discussion, like to start or to how to end?
Group discussion is a tricky thing because a lot of times it becomes a fish market. Any one of you has experienced it, you'll understand that everyone starts shouting. Even in Indian Army final rounds, the group discussion is like this only. So what you need to do over there are two things where you will face the least competition. Number one, starting, and number two, finishing. All right. Now, people do not understand the meaning of these two. Starting does not mean that this is my point, 100%, this is the thing. In starting, you will have to give a brief idea of the topic, both sides, positive and negative, X and Y, both sides you'll have to explain, and then put your point over there, and then let the others get involved. Because in the starting, most people will be hesitating. A lot of people do not have the information as well, so they are going to wait for the others to speak. Ending does not mean that this is my point and this is correct. Ending means, okay, the X side said this and the Y side said this, and finally the solution is this. That is the leadership ability that you have to show. These are the things that most people do not do. Other than that, in the beginning where people will be howling, you will have to shout sometimes to bring the audience to your attention, because a lot of people will be shouting, but they do not have the confidence to continue that. And also, more importantly, a lot of them do not have the fluency. So the connectors that I was talking about, the moment people say, that's the moment other people are going to burst in. That's the moment you're going to be interrupted and you're going to stop. So there should not be any interruptions, and fluency should be 100% flawless. That is what we are looking for. It does not mean that you need to be speaking very fast. It just means that you have the control and command wherever you are speaking. If you can do that, then it will be a better time, and that much is more than sufficient for you to get the highlight in the GDs, and you are going to get selected. Other few things you can do is few leadership things is like get those people involved. Like that, you see a guy who is not speaking at all, and there will always be one of those. You say that, what do you think about this? Bring them in. That is showing again your leadership ability, and leadership ability completely shows that you are dictating the conversation over here. You are the leader over here. These are the tiny things that you can do in group discussions. Understood? सर मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स को अभी ये सब ज़्यादा लग रहा होगा. जब हम दिल्ली गए थे सुबह 7 बजे क्लास चालू होता था, रात को 9 साढ़े 9 बजे तक ख़त्म होता था. चल रहा है पूरे दिन. उसके बाद घर जाके पढ़ना भी है, क्या हुआ है ना. मुश्किल से सोए, फिर सुबह अगले दिन 7 बजे फिर वहीं. तो कॉलेज में लोगों को लगता है कि हमें तो बहुत ही तकलीफ़ हो रहा है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा काम हो रहा है. जब एक्चुअल समझ में आएगा तब तुम्हें लगेगा वो कब बहुत ही आसान था, कर लेना चाहिए था, है ना. नहीं ऐसा मतलब मेरा वो कंसिस्टेंसी का एक रीज़न था कि मेरे में वो गिल्ट बहुत था कि तुम लोग जो भी यहाँ पे हो अभी, इतना चीज़ तुम्हें एक्सेप्ट करना ही होगा कि कहीं ना कहीं तुमने फांकी मारा 11-12 क्लास में, है ना. तो वहाँ पे तुमने कुछ किया है तो कहीं तो भरना पड़ेगा तुम्हें. जितना जल्दी भर दो अच्छी बात है, नहीं तो फिर आगे और भी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम होने लगेगा. क्योंकि जब लोग निकल जाते हैं ना कॉलेज से, तो फिर वो प्रेशर बहुत ही गंदा होता है कि तुम अभी सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट नहीं हो. और फिर ग्रेजुएट में तुम ट्रेन में भी जाओगे तो तुमसे पूछेंगे बेटा क्या कर रहे हो, बीटेक कर रहे हो. बोलो बीटेक तो कर लिया. अच्छा तो जॉब कर रहे हो, नहीं जॉब तो नहीं किया, तो एग्ज़ाम का तैयारी कर रहे हैं. ऐसा होगा. तो इसीलिए अभी जितना भी टाइम मिले, जितना भी रिसोर्स में, रिसोर्स तो बहुत ही है. उस टाइम पे तो 2014-15 का बात है, हमें तो कुछ भी नहीं मिलता था. एनपीटेल का लेक्चर तो, हाँ एनपीटेल का लेक्चर तो लोग डाउनलोड कर करके रखते थे, तो किसी के ड्राइव में है तो देख लिया. अभी तो सारे लेक्चर ही फ्री के हैं. इंटरनेट भी अच्छा हो गया होगा. 2 साल तक तो हम लोग इंटरनेट के लिए वहाँ जाते थे, लाइब्रेरी के नीचे जो वो सब कोई लैपटॉप लेके वहीं बैठे रहते थे, है ना. ई ब्लॉक, है ना. अभी तो मुझे लगता है हाँ हम ही लोग के टाइम तक तो वाईफाई लग गया था रूम वूम में. अभी तो हो ही गया होगा.
सर टाइम ही नहीं मिलता है सर।
टाइम नहीं मिलता है?
हाँ,
अरे ऐसा बात
सर
मत करो,
मतलब
हम लोग सब वहीं से पार हुए हैं. वो सब किसी को बोलना जो नहीं देखा है. टाइम बहुत है, तुम कहाँ
सर
उड़ाते हो वो भी जानता हूँ.
अभी क्या वो आने वाला है सर, मतलब सेशनल क्विज
अरे
सर, इसके लिए भी थोड़ा तो पढ़
वही तो, थोड़ा पढ़ना होता है उसके लिए.
सर। सर दिन में कितना मतलब आवर देना पड़ेगा सर, मतलब इसको प्रिपेयर करने के
देखो
लिए?
भाई, इसका सिंपल सा रूल है. जितना टाइम तुम्हारे पास पूरा दिन है उसमें से वेस्ट कोई नहीं जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, अभी किसी दिन तुम्हें बाल ही कटाने जाना है तो 1 घंटा चला गया उसमें, तो उसको हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, लेकिन बाकी का जो टाइम है वो तुम्हारा इन्वॉल्व होना चाहिए. किसी दिन तुम्हें अपना पैन कार्ड कुछ करने के लिए जाना पड़ा, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस बनाने जाना पड़ा, ठीक है. लेकिन जो टाइम तुम्हारे पास है, अगर तुम मुझे देख रहे हो हम गप्पे मार रहे हैं दोस्तों के साथ, गेमिंग चल रहा है, बहुत सारा चीज़ चल रहा है, तो वो समझ लो कि वहाँ पे वो टाइम नहीं जाना चाहिए. और यहीं पे टाइम जाता है जिनके पास टाइम नहीं रहता. ठीक है. फिर वहाँ तुम सोचोगे कि सैटरडे है, चलो ऊपर मोमो खा लेते हैं जाके वहाँ पे, वो भी करना ज़रूरी है. फिर वहाँ बाबा पराठा भी चले जाते हैं, किसी का बर्थडे है तो.
मतलब रेस्टोरेंट पहले नहीं था ना इधर ज्यादा, एक दो ही था.
हाँ,
अभी तो पूरा भर गया है रेस्टोरेंट.
वो सारे तुम्हारे दुश्मन हैं. तुम्हें रोकने के लिए बने हैं. हाँ. सोच लेना, मतलब तुम अगर सोचते हो मेरे पास टाइम कहाँ से आता था, तो भाई मैं तो बर्थडे बर्थडे में भी नहीं जाता था लोगों का. सच बता रहा हूँ, मेरे अभी तक दोस्त हैं, अभी तक बात होता है, उनके बर्थडे में ही नहीं जाता था मैं. रात को 12 बजे भी नहीं जाता था उनके रूम पे विश करने. नेक्स्ट डे कर लेंगे. तो ऐसा नहीं होता दोस्त बोलेगा अब हम तुमसे बात ही नहीं करेंगे. उन्हें समझ में आ जाएगा हाँ भाई इसके लिए दूसरा चीज़ ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट, वो एक्चुअली रिस्पेक्ट करने लगेंगे तुम्हें कि हाँ ठीक है ये कर रहा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ऐसा होता है. तो वैसे तुम्हें टाइम निकालना पड़ेगा.
सर अभी ऑनलाइन चलते सर, कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है वही पता नहीं है सर।
कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है? अपना फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट पिक करो. फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट, जो भी सब्जेक्ट तुम्हें सबसे अच्छा लगता है, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल हो, थर्मोडाइनमिक्स हो, थ्योरी ऑफ मशीन हो, पकड़ लो. उसके कोई बहुत ही अच्छे एजुकेटर को पकड़ो जिसका रैंक भी आया हुआ है और अच्छा पढ़ाने में भी है. लैंग्वेज जो तुम्हें ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल लगे, हिंदी या इंग्लिश, उसे पकड़ लो. और उसके बाद उसे पकड़ के, जैसा मैंने बोला, 1 महीना तक तुम्हें प्रॉपर उसे ख़त्म करना है. 1 महीना में ख़त्म हो जाना चाहिए. वो डेडलाइन लेके, चाहे एग्ज़ाम आए, क्विज आए, जो भी आए. मैं तो सेमेस्टर एग्ज़ाम के एक दिन पहले भी पढ़ता था. जैसे कल सेमेस्टर एग्ज़ाम है तो आज मैं 4 बजे से फुल ऑन सेमेस्टर के लिए पढ़ना स्टार्ट करूँगा. और कल मेरा छुट्टी था तो कल मैं गेट का पढ़ रहा था, टेस्ट सीरीज दे रहा था लाइब्रेरी में. ऐसा भी करना पड़ता है. ठीक है, वो सारे आते जाते रहते हैं. ठीक है, वो परमानेंट चीज़ तुम्हारा गेट का प्रिपरेशन ही है, अगर तुमने चूज़ कर लिया है तो इसीलिए मैंने डिफ़िकल्टी भी दिखा दिया कि सोच समझ के चूज़ करना. पैसे हैं तो मत चूज़ करना. फिर तो तुम देख लो, इंटरेस्ट नहीं है मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग में तो मत चूज़ करना. अगर है और पैसे नहीं है तो फिर तुम्हारे पास यही रास्ता है। और ठीक है, थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर बीइंग ओवर हियर।
थैंक यू भैया।
और सर थैंक यू मेरे को बुलाने के लिए, बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। पहली बार मैं SMIT के स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहा हूँ पास होने के बाद। सुशांत लोग तो आया था पहले, अंशुमन भी आ चुका है। ठीक है, ओके गाइस, कोई दिक्कत हुआ तो देख लेना, यूट्यूब चैनल में मेरा काफ़ी वीडियोस मिल जाएगा, अनअकैडमी में लेक्चर्स मिल जाएगा, और जितना हो सके सर मुझे बता देंगे, मैं और भी हेल्प कर दूंगा। चलो ठीक है, थैंक यू एवरीवन, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, थैंक यू आशीष।
ठीक है सर।
बाय एवरीवन।